Good evening, everybody. I apologize for the delayed start here tonight. Just was working on a project around the house and time got away from me, and then realized I didn't have my script all done for tonight, so I had to kind of fill in some of that pretty quickly. But anyway, we're here. Better late than never. Welcome to this week's Classic Country A to Z. For tonight's show, we will finish up the Waylon Jennings collection of hits, and then we will get started on the collection of Webb Pierce hits. We won't quite finish it yet tonight, but we will finish Webb Pierce next week. And of course, there's always the original song in the middle and a gospel song at the end. So let's dive right in. Waylon wrote this first song seemingly in homage to Bob Wills, even though he later wrote in liner notes for a box set of CDs, quote, "I never was a big Bob Wills fan." Waylon says in his memoir that the song was about his early days in playing clubs in Texas that had those big Bob Wills dance floors. And he said I'd get up on the long bandstand built for a 12-piece cowboy orchestra, and I'd be telling my four guys to start spreading out. He also noted the audience was frustrated by his songs he played that were difficult to dance to. Anyway, this first song tonight was a B-side song to his hit, "Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way?" And even though it was only a B-side song, it rose to number one on the charts in 1975. This song is called "Bob Wills Is Still the King." And hi, Gail. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry I'm late tonight. Well, the honky-tonks in Texas were my natural second home, where you tip your hat to the ladies and the rose of San Antone. I grew up on music that we call Western swing. It don't matter who's in Austin, Bob Wills is still the king. Lord, I can still remember the way things were back then. In spite of all the hard times, I'd live it all again. To hear the Texas Playboys and Tommy Duncan sing makes me proud to be from Texas, where Bob Wills is still the king. Well, you can hear the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, it's the home of country music, on that we all agree. But when you cross that old Red River, hoss, that just don't mean a thing. 'Cause once you're down in Texas, Bob Wills is still the king. Well, if you ain't never been there, then I guess you ain't been told that you just can't live in Texas unless you got a lot of soul. Well, it's the home of Willie Nelson, the home of Western swing. And he'll be the first to tell you Bob Wills is still the king. Yes, he'll be the first to tell you Bob Wills is still the king. I'm going to move my guitar mic a little bit here. Bumping the microphone with the knuckles is not helpful for good sound. Okay, next up. This song was co-written by Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and released as the B-side to their mega hit, "Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys." It was to be taken with a grain of salt, this song, since Willie has had a lifelong companion in marijuana, and Waylon at one point filed bankruptcy bankruptcy by addiction and the near millions that he blew on cocaine. Anyway, the song is called I Can Get Off on You. Take back the weed, take back the cocaine, baby. Take back the pills, take back the whiskey too. I don't need 'em now, your love was all I was after. Well, I'll make it now, 'cause I can get off on you. I can get by with on little or nothing at all, I know. And I can get high just thinking about you, and so well, take back the weed, take back the cocaine, baby. Take back the pills, take back the whiskey too. I don't need 'em now, your love was all I was after. Well, I'll make it now, and I can get off on you. Well, who would have thought this was something that I'd ever do? I'm working it out, mellowing out on you. So take back the weed, take back the cocaine, baby. Take back the pills, take back the whiskey too. I don't need 'em now, your love was all I was after. And I'll make it now, 'cause I can get off on you. Yeah, take back the weed, take back the cocaine, baby. And take back the pills, and take back the whiskey too. I don't need 'em now, your love was all I was after. Well, I'll make it now, 'cause I can get off on you. Yeah, I'll make it now, 'cause I can get off on you. That's a little out there, that song. Next up, this is a song written by Bob McDill, one of my favorite writers who wrote a lot of stuff for Don Williams. And this was released as a duet with Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash on one of Johnny Cash's albums from 1980. This song peaked at number 22 on the charts that year, and this song is called I Wish I Was Crazy Again. I met an old friend this morning, and I stopped him and called him by name. I said, the years haven't changed you, but he said, good Lord, how you've changed. So we stood there and talked on the corner and remembered the good times we had. Then he asked if we're happy together, and I only smiled and I said, yes, she keeps me off the streets, and she keeps me out of trouble. Sometimes at night, Lord, when I hear the wind, I wish I was crazy again. Yes, I wish I was crazy again. Then we stopped in at a tavern, and we had us a round or two. We called ourselves young desperados, as old friends are likely to do. We sat for a while and remembered. Then he said, let's have just one more. I said I'd sure like to join you, but I best be going on home. 'Cause she keeps me off the streets, and she keeps me out of trouble. Sometimes at night, Lord, when I hear the wind, I wish I was crazy again. Yes, I wish I was crazy again. Yes, she keeps me off the streets, and she keeps me out of trouble. Sometimes at night, Lord, when I hear the wind, I wish I was crazy again. Yes, I wish I was crazy again. Okay, next. This is a song that Waylon included on his 1976 album entitled Are You Ready for the Country? The song was co-written by Shel Silverstein, but it never charted for Waylon. This song is called A Couple More Years. Now I've got a couple more years on you, baby, that's all. And I've had more chances to fly and more places to fall. It's not that I'm wiser, it's only that I've spent more time with my back to the wall. And I picked up a couple more years on you, baby, that's all. Now I've walked a couple more roads than you, baby, that's all. And I'm tired of running while you're only learning to crawl. You're going somewhere, but I've been to somewhere and found it was nowhere at all. And I picked up a couple more years on you, baby, that's all. Well, saying goodbye, girl, don't ever come easy at all. But you gotta fly 'cause you're hearing them young eagles call. Someday when you're older, you'll smile at a man strong and tall and say, I've got a couple more years on you, baby, that's all. Now I've got a couple more years on you, baby, that's all. And I've had more chances to fly and more places to fall. It's not that I'm wiser, it's only that I've spent more time with my back to the wall. And I picked up a couple more years on you, baby, that's all. No, it's not that I'm wiser, it's only that I've spent more time with my back to the wall. And I picked up a couple more years on you, baby, that's all. Yeah, I picked up a couple more years on you, baby, that's all. Right, Pat, glad to see that you have joined us. I understand computers can be frustrating. And Rose, thanks for tuning in as well. All right, next up, it's a song that was, this was on that hugely successful Wanted the Outlaws album that Waylon and Willie and Tom Paul and Jesse all released in 1976. I had that album, so I wanted to include the song here. It's just one that I remember from that album. Even though Willie Nelson actually wrote this song, it's Waylon's version that I remember most anyway. This song is called Heaven or Hell. Sometimes it's heaven, sometimes it's hell, sometimes I don't even know. Sometimes I take it as far as I can, sometimes I don't even go. My front tracks are heading for a cold water well, my back tracks are covered in snow. Sometimes it's heaven, sometimes it's hell, sometimes I don't even know. Well, heaven ain't walking a street paved with gold, and hell ain't a mountain of fire. Heaven is laying in my sweet baby's arms, hell is when baby ain't there. My front tracks are heading for a cold water well, my back tracks are covered in snow. Sometimes it's heaven, sometimes it's hell, sometimes I don't even know. Sometimes it's heaven, sometimes it's hell, and sometimes I don't even know. Okay. Now, next up, this is a song that was written by Billy Joe Shaver. It reached number 14 in the charts in 1973 for Waylon. The backstory goes that Billy Joe Shaver confronted Waylon one day after showing up unannounced at RCA Studios on a day when Waylon was recording. Billy Joe apparently told Waylon that he was willing to fight him if he wouldn't listen to his songs. So Waylon offered to listen to Billy Joe's songs and told Billy Joe to sing one of the songs, and if he liked it, he would record it. And Billy Joe could then sing another one. But if he didn't like it, then Billy Joe would have to leave. So Billy Joe sang a number of his songs, and Waylon was so impressed that he decided to record an entire album of Billy Joe Shaver songs. This song was the title track to that album, and this song is called Honky Tonk Heroes. Low down leaving sun, I done did everything that needs doing. Woe is me, why can't I see? I best be leaving well enough alone. Them neon night lights couldn't stay out of fights. They keep a-haunting me in memories. Well, there's one in every crowd for crying out loud. Why was it always turning out to be me? Piano roll blues, danced holes in my shoes. There weren't another way to be. For lovable losers and no-account boozers and honky-tonk heroes like me. Where does it go? The good Lord only knows. Seemed like it was just the other day. I was down at Green Gables a-hogging them tables and generally blowing all of my hard-earned pay. Piano roll blues, I danced holes in my shoes. There weren't another way to be. For them lovable losers and no-account boozers and honky-tonk heroes like me. The good Lord only knows. Seemed like it was just the other day. I was down at Green Gables a-hogging them tables and generally blowing all of my hard-earned pay. Miami roll blues, I danced holes in my shoes. There weren't another way to be. For them lovable losers and no-account boozers and honky-tonk heroes like me. For them lovable losers and no-account boozers and honky-tonk heroes like me. All right, anybody that had that Outlaw album would remember that song. Next up, Waylon included this next song in his 1974 album entitled This Time, but the song was never released as a single, so it didn't chart. The song is called If You Could Touch Her at All. Funny, a woman can come on so wild and free and insist I don't watch her undress or watch her watch me. Stand by the bed and shiver as if she were cold, just to lie down beside me and touch me as if I were gold. One night of love don't make up for 6 nights alone, but I'd rather have one than none, Lord, 'cause I'm flesh and bone. And sometimes it seems she ain't worth the trouble at all, but she could be worth the world if somehow you could touch her at all. Right or wrong, a woman can't own any man. She can take him inside her and hold his soul in her hand. leave him as weary and weak as a newborn child, fighting to catch his first breath and open his eyes. One night of love don't make up for 6 nights alone, but I'd rather have one than none, Lord, 'cause I'm flesh and bone. Well, sometimes it seems she ain't worth the trouble at all, but she could be worth the world if somehow you could touch her at all. Yes, sometimes it seems she ain't worth the trouble at all, but she could be worth the world if somehow you can touch her at all. Yeah, she could be worth the world if somehow you could touch her at all. Okay, next up, another title track song, this one from Waylon's 1973 album. This song never charted, but despite that, over the years, it's become one of Waylon's signature songs. The song and its album are called Lonesome, Ornery, and Mean. On a Greyhound bus, Lord, I'm traveling this morning. I'm going to Shreveport and down to New Orleans. Been driving these highways, been doing things my way. It's been making me lonesome, ornery and mean. Now her hair was jet black, and her name was Codeine. She thought she was the cream of the Basin Street queens. She got tired of that smoky wine dream, began to feel lonesome, ornery and mean. We got together and we cashed in our sweeps, gave them to a beggar who was mumbling through the streets. There's no escaping from his snowy white dreams, ornery and lonesome, ornery and mean. Now I'm down in this valley where the wheels turn so low. At dawn I pray to the Lord of my soul. I say, do Lord, do right by me. You know I'm tired of feeling lonesome, ornery and mean. Oh Lord, I'm tired of being lonesome, ornery and mean. I started late. We're reached the middle of the show here, roughly, where I do one of the songs that my friend Charlie and I wrote together. This one's about sometimes a song can be tied to a relationship, sort of the Our Song deal. And this is called When You Hear Our Song. I remember the first time we heard our song. We were dancing and kissing and swaying along. Your arms around me, my arms around you. It was a song we thought would see us through. Well, I'd play my guitar and sing you our song, straight from the heart, sweet and true. But what do you hear now when you hear our song, now that someone else is singing it for you? Stuck at a stoplight, they're playing our song. Tears in my eyes as I try to sing along, thinking about a love that I thought was true, singing a song I thought was written for just me and you. Yeah, I'd play my guitar and sing you our song, straight from the heart, sweet and true. But what do you hear now when you hear our song, now that someone else is singing it for you? I keep singing our song, living in the past, singing our song about a love long past. I keep singing our song and hoping you'll come back, but baby, singing our song is just holding me back. When you're at a stoplight and you hear our song, I hope that you'll smile and still sing along, thinking about a love that you once knew, singing a song written for just me and you. Yeah, I'd play my guitar and sing you our song, straight from the heart, sweet and true. But what do you hear now when you hear our song, now that someone else is singing it for you? Now that someone else is singing it for you. All right, now for our last Waylon Jennings song. After a couple of weeks, I think total it took 4 weeks to get through all this. Part of one show, 2 full shows, and part of this show. This is another one of those songs that Waylon did on that Wanted the Outlaws album from 1976. But Willie also covered this song in 1980 and included it on the Electric Horseman movie soundtrack. And so Willie actually had a #1 hit with this song in 1980, 4 years later. Anyway, this song is called My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys. A lot of waltzes tonight. I grew up a-dreaming of being a cowboy and loving the cowboy ways, pursuing the life of my high-riding heroes. I burned up my childhood days. I learned all the rules of the modern day drifter, but don't you hold on to nothing too long. Just take what you need from the ladies, then leave them with the words of a sad country song. My heroes have always been cowboys, and they still are, it seems, sadly in search of the one step in back of themselves and their slow-moving dreams. Well, cowboys are special with their own brand of misery from being alone too long. You could die from the cold in the arms of a nightmare, knowing well your best days are gone. Picking up hookers instead of my pen, I let the words of my youth fade away. Old worn out saddles and old worn out memories with no one and no place to stay. My heroes have always been cowboys, and they still are, it seems, sadly in search of but one step in back of themselves and their slow-moving dreams. Sadly in search of but one step in back of themselves and their slow-moving dreams. All right. Linda, thanks for tuning in. Now we move on to the collection of Webb Pierce hits. Webb had his greatest career success in the 1950s, and in fact he charted more number one hits than any other artist during the 1950s. In 1952, the Grand Ole Opry needed to fill the vacancy left by the firing of Hank Williams, and Webb was invited to join the cast, so he kind of backfilled for Hank Williams. And then after Hank Williams' death, Webb became the most popular singer in country music, and for the next 4 years, every single he released hit the top 10, and 10 of them reached number one. So our first Webb Pierce song tonight was his very first release, and it went right to number one on the charts, 1951. The song was written way back, actually, in the 1930s, and like a lot of Webb's hits, this song is fairly short, but this song is called Wondering. Another waltz. Wondering, wondering, who's kissing you? Wondering, wondering, if you're wondering too. Every hour through the day, since you've been away, I keep wondering, yes, wondering, if you're wondering too. I pray every night to the good Lord above to send back to me the one I really love. Wondering, wondering, who's kissing you? Wondering, wondering, if you're wondering too. Every hour through the day, since you've been away, I keep wondering, yes, wondering, if you're wondering too. Yeah, I pray every night to the good Lord above to send back to me the one I really love. Wondering, wondering who's kissing you. Wondering, wondering if you're wondering too. Every hour through the day since you've been away, I keep wondering, yes, wondering if you're wondering too. I keep wondering, yes, wondering if you're wondering too. All right. Next up, Webb's next release, his second song he ever released, also went to number one. This one in 1952. This is a song he wrote, and I learned this song off of a Hank Snow album from 1961. It was a cover of this song. My parents had that album. An album, as I recall, the title was Songs I Hadn't Recorded Until Now. So anyway, this song that Webb wrote and had a number one hit with in 1952 is called That Heart Belongs to Me. There are so many flirty guys with flirty, flirty ways, and I am so afraid that they will steal you someday. But don't let 'em, darling, 'cause you belong to me. Oh, please don't let them think your heart is fancy free. Don't let 'em, darling, that heart belongs to me. They'll tell you that I trifle and that you should do the same. They'll tell you that they need your love, so why not make the change? But don't do it, darling, that love belongs to me. Oh, please don't let them blind you. I still love you, can't you see? Well, don't do it, darling, that heart belongs to me. They'll offer you a mansion, ask if you will be their queen, so they can give you riches, make your life a happy dream. But don't let 'em, darling, that dream belongs to me. Oh, sure, they'll try to buy your love with riches such as these, but don't let 'em, darling, that heart belongs to me. That's one of my favorites. I don't know, I think I listened to that song so many times as a kid off that album. The song still gives me goosebumps. Okay, the next song was Webb's next release. This was his third number one hit. And talk about a strong start, just right out of the chute, number one hit after number one hit after number one hit. This song actually was first offered to Hank Williams, who was then sort of the undisputed king of country music, and apparently Webb first heard it when Hank was singing it on his early morning radio shows. But Hank's music publisher and unofficial manager, Fred Rose, wouldn't let Hank record it. Fred apparently said that it was too risky, as the song was a little risque for the time. And Hank told Webb Pierce, quote, "I think anyone's got guts enough to record it has got themselves a #1 hit." And sure enough, he was right, as Webb had a #1 hit with it. This song is called Backstreet Affair. You didn't know I wasn't free when you fell in love with me. And with all your young heart, you learned to care. It brought you shame and disgrace. The world has tumbled in your face, 'cause they call our love a backstreet affair. They say you wrecked our home. I'm a husband that's gone wrong. They don't know the sorrow that we've had to bear. For the one that I'm tied to was the first to be untrue. Yes, they call our love a backstreet affair. We have each other now, that's all that matters anyhow. Oh, the judgment of gossip's never fair. We'll just be brave and strong, and someday they'll see they're wrong. So let them call our love a backstreet affair. We'll be free to love someday, when all the talk has died away, and the happiness we've hoped for, then we'll share. I'll climb a mountain high, and the world will hear me cry that our love is not a backstreet affair. No, our love is not a backstreet affair. Okay. Now, next up is Webb's fourth #1 hit, this one from 1953. It stayed at #1 for 6 weeks on the charts. And this song is called It's Been So Long. Well, it's been so long since we said goodbye. I guess that's the reason why I sit and cry. I miss you, baby, every day and night. It's been so long since I held you tight. Well, nothing ever seems the same. My sunshine has turned to rain. Every time I hear your name, my heart becomes a burning flame. Everything's different since you went away. It gets so lonely every night and day. I can't help feeling that you ought to know I love you, baby, and I miss you so. Yeah, nothing ever seems the same. My sunshine has turned to rain. Every time I hear your name, my heart becomes a burning flame. Well, it's been so long since we said goodbye. I guess that's the reason why I sit and cry. I miss you, baby, every day and night. It's been so long since I held you tight. Yeah, it's been so long since I held you tight. Okay, now next up is Webb's fifth #1 hit. He's catching a pattern here. This one also from 1953. And this song stayed at #1 for 12 weeks. Just crazy. 3 months at the top of the charts. This is one of those songs in which Webb's vocals are pretty high and piercing. No pun intended. But that didn't stop people from buying it and making it a huge hit for him. This song is called There Stands the Glass. There stands the glass that will ease all my pain, that will settle my brain. It's my first one today. There stands the glass that will hide all my tears, that will drown all my fears. Brother, I'm on my way. I wonder where you are tonight. I'm wondering if you are all right. I wonder if you think of me in my misery. There stands the glass. Fill it up to the brim till my troubles grow dim. It's my first one today. Yes, I'm wondering where you are tonight. I'm wondering if you are all right. I'm wondering if you think of me in my misery. Well, there stands the glass. Fill it up to the brim till my troubles grow dim. It's my first one today. Okay. Next, this was a song that was a #3 hit for Webb in 1953, and it's a song he co-wrote. It's also interesting to note that unlike most other singers, Webb released all these singles, all the hits that I've done so far, and the next few, and never released an album. He didn't release his first album until 1955, so these are all just singles that he released and went right to the chart. You would think there'd be sort of a missed opportunity. But anyway, this one is called I'm Walking the Dog. I'm walking the dog, and I'm never blue. I'm a walking the dog, I ain't thinking about you. I don't need no one to tie me down. I'm a walking the dog, and I'm painting the town. Such an easy life I never knew, until the day that I left you. Now I'm a carefree lad who's seen the light. I'm a walking the dog all the day and all night. Well, I'm full of pep, I just can't grow old. I got a one-track mind, so I've been told. But I'm fancy free, I don't worry no how. Hey, I'm walking the dog, all the law will allow. Such an easy life I never knew, until the day that I left you. Now I'm a carefree lad who's seen the light. Hey, I'm a walking the dog all the day and all night. Yeah, I'm a walking the dog all the day and all night. All right. Okay, we'll do one more Webb song. I know I started late, so next up is Webb's first number one hit from 1954, and it stayed at number one for 17 weeks. This is another song that he co-wrote, and this song has some instrumental history associated with it. Apparently, this song was the first chart-topping song to feature a pedal steel guitar, which came courtesy of legendary musician Bud Isaacs, who said years later that he was paid $41 to perform on this song, and yet his contribution to the song was immeasurable. He would change music history forever with his playing on this song, as it was an instrument that he created. Apparently the guitar that he had altered with simple equipment from a hardware store that created a pitch-changing sound that had never been heard before. Anyway, the song is called Slowly I'm Falling. Slowly I'm falling, more in love with you. Slowly you're winning a heart that can be true. Now I can't hide my feelings, for no matter what I do, slowly I'm falling, more in love with you. Well, more and more I need you and want you by my side, and more I love you as each day passes by. No need to hide my feelings, for it's so plain and true. Slowly I'm falling more in love with you. Yes, more and more I need you and want you by my side. And more I love you as each day passes by. No need to hide my feelings, for it's so plain and true. Slowly I'm falling more in love with you. Slowly I'm falling more in love with you. All right, now we will go to our gospel song tonight. We'll have quite a few Webb Pierce songs next week. For tonight's gospel, when Hank Williams died unexpectedly at the young age of 29, he had several songs that he was in the middle of writing and didn't finish. And there was an album made more recently, and I ran out of time before the show to look it up, all the details on it, but I want to say it was around in the early 2000s. And it was a collection of Hank Williams songs that he never released, that he had either fully written or started writing. And the ones that he had started writing, another current artist finished. And in this case, this is a song that Merle Haggard finished, that Hank Williams had started. Not clear as to where one started, one left off, who did what exactly. But anyway, this one is called The Sermon on the Mount. A man sat on a mountainside, a carpenter by trade, teaching his disciples while they knelt and prayed. He blessed the poor and simple, and he brought the mourners joy. He came to heal the blind and lame, they came not to destroy. When smitten by his enemies, he turned the other cheek. He brought strength of God and morals to mortals who were weak. He told of false prophets who wore a sheep's disguise, and he warned us not to trust them or to listen to their lies. Hey, the Sermon on the Mountainside will live eternally. He'll lead us to the kingdom he promised you and me. So take the straight and narrow path and do good things that count. Make up your mind to live by the Sermon on the Mount. Hey, the Sermon on the Mountainside will live eternally. He'll lead us to the kingdom he promised you and me. So take the straight and narrow path and do good things that count. Make up your mind to live by the Sermon on the Mount. Yeah, make up your mind to live by the Sermon on the Mount. So that's the only song that I know that I've got in my collection that was written by two people who never met each other. One died before the other was born, or certainly before I was old enough to know. So that takes us to our weekly benediction song to send you on your way. I hope you have a great week. And thank you for tuning in. May the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near or far away. May you find that long-awaited golden day today. May your troubles all be small ones, and your fortune 10 times 10. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May you walk with sunlight shining and a bluebird in every tree. May there be a silver lining back of every cloud you see. Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrows, never mind what might have been. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May you walk with sunlight shining and a bluebird in every tree. May there be a silver lining back of every cloud you see. Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrows, never mind what might have been. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in tonight, and thank you for watching, for those who are watching later. As always, please feel free to share with anyone you think might enjoy this music. We will be back next week with a bunch of Webb Pierce songs, and there's a few other W's before we get to Willie Nelson, but there'll be a lot of Willie Nelson songs, and that's where we will finish with Willie. And I'll talk more about that in coming weeks. But so see you here next Sunday, and thank you again for tuning in. Stay safe. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday at 7. Good night, everybody. Thank you.